Shredding takes on a whole new meaning with this beast. Hey folks, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to work on something different. We're going to service a Stihl 131R Kombi system. So I've been helping maintain mountain bike trails for a very long time. It all started with just using my hands years ago. If I see an obstacle on the trail, I'd stop the bike. If it was manageable, pick it up, throw it on the side, and get on my way. And I will say this. I guarantee you, no matter the trail out there, there are people that need help keeping it clear and maintaining it. So if you're on a bike ride and you happen to see an obstacle that's manageable enough, stop the bike, man. Just pick it up and throw it on the side and you're done. It just helps improve the overall experience for everyone. When it comes to trail clearing, if you have a system like this, taking a half a day, going out there, tackling a little chunk of trail, I guarantee you there's going to be people out there that are going to appreciate it and you will feel better about riding your own trails. When it comes to trail trimming, this is absolutely my weapon of choice. This thing is a beast, to say the least. It tackles everything, especially with this head over here. It's by far the best solution out there. I don't care what anybody says. But just like all tools, it needs maintenance. Now, last time I used it, which was a few days ago, I happened to notice that my clutch started slipping. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to change the clutch. I'm also going to change the clutch housing. I'm going to change the shafts in both the main head unit and the trim unit over here. This is a very popular system, in my opinion, the most efficient system out there, easy to put in a car, easy to handle, easy to work with, super durable. I've never had an issue after 6 years of beating the hell out of this thing, to say the least. But again, it needs maintenance, and that's what we're going to go over in this video. I'm going to do it in chunks in case you happen to have one of these things. You could tackle each section on its own, because if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong with one of these 4 sections. All right. So with that being said, let's get straight into working on this unit. So first, we're going to start off with changing the clutch. And to do that, we have to take off the outer shell over here, right? So first, let's start off by taking off the cover on the filter, the air filter. Now, if you bought one of these, I'm pretty sure you got this tool with it. And this will do most of the work for all these jobs that we're about to do, all 4 of them. All right, come on. There we go. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna put it on the side. You know what, this is probably gonna fall out later anywhere. Let's take it, put it on the side. I'm gonna end up changing it. So then in the rear over here, we have another screw that we need to take out, okay? So let's go in here with our tool again. And take that one out, put it on the side. Now, on the front, we have 3 screws, 1, 2, and 1 on the bottom. First, we're gonna take out these 2 top screws over here. And I think I'm gonna put a towel underneath this thing so it doesn't slip on the table as much. Okay. I just use some friction to pull it out. Again, just put your tool in there and angle it. Come on. There we go. All right, now we should, oh yeah, one more thing. We need to take off the top. Yeah, we need to take off the top cap. The spark plug cover, let's take that out. Put that on the side. Now this whole thing should come out, okay? And we're gonna take this, put it on the side. Next, we wanna separate the fan housing and the main shaft from the engine body so we could get to the actual clutch, which is inside that housing bell in there, right? So the easiest way to do this is, we look on the side over here, we have a screw. This screw holds the main body, or the main shaft body, right? So let's take our T27. Again, these are T27s. I probably should have mentioned that before, I'm sorry. Again, these things come with these. I'm assuming you have them if you bought a Kombi or any kind of trimmer. So let's take this guy out, let's put him on the side. So what we're gonna do next over here, I guess I should have loosened it first, is remember there's that one bolt underneath? We're gonna get to that bolt underneath and loosen this guy, or remove this bolt in order to be able to pull out the shaft a little bit more to separate the shaft from the housing. Again, put an angle on the tool and pop it out. Come on. Come on. Nah, dummy. There we go. Put this on the side over here with the rest of those bolts. Okay, now let's turn this over. So now this housing will separate, right? Now we should be able to pull out this entire thing just like that. So this is our fan housing. This is our clutch housing. There's a bearing in there. I'm going to change this clutch housing to show you guys how to do it, but there is a bearing in there and that bearing is not changeable. You have to buy the entire mechanism, which includes the housing, the bearing, and everything that you see over here as one kit. But you can buy this clutch housing separately if you want, right? So if your bearing is good and your clutch housing has too much wear and it'll rust that you can't get rid of, well, you could change this and I'll show you how it's done. That's going to be the second part of our service. This is our clutch. We have 2 bolts that hold it in place. And for that, we're going to need a 10mm socket. Now, 2 ways you could do this. One, you could go out there and buy a piston stopper. So it's literally a plastic plunger essentially that screws into, you'd remove your spark plug, put it inside, and ultimately you turn your piston until it goes top dead and it won't go all the way up, and this will give you enough force in order to remove these bolts. Or, and this will hurt a little bit, well, hurt, it's gonna be uncomfortable because these are relatively sharp considering the force. You could use your hands holding down on this fan over here, use your hands to loosen the bolts, all right? So again, 10mm. This is gonna be pretty stiff. Okay, 1 loosened and 2 loose. Again, you could do it by hand, but again, I mean, these are relatively sharp, right? So it might, you're gonna feel it for sure. So now, let's remove the screws first because there is an order to putting this clutch together. Okay, so let's take these bolts, put them on the side, take this bolt, remove it, put it on the side. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There's 3 layers, if memory serves me correct, to these clutches, right? And the ends, like these, are directional, right? So if we look at this one, for instance, right? If we flip it open, this is humped, right? And this is relatively flat. So the flat part goes towards the trimmer head. The hump part goes towards the engine body, basically, right? So we're going to take this, we're going to put it on the side like that. Now this is our clutch, okay? And again, clutch is directional. So if you noticed, I pulled it out like this. We have letters and numbers on this side. The letters and numbers are going to face the trimmer head. The side with no letters and numbers, that's going to face the engine body, basically, right? And that's all we really need. We don't have to take the rest out over here, okay? You can, but it's pointless. So what we have here is our replacement clutch, in this case part number 4180-160-2000, okay? So take it out of the bag, throw the bag on the side, and again, we have letters on one side, we have no letters on the other one, right? And if we look at the difference, well, we could tell, like I could feel that this is somewhat chewed up. Still has life left to it, but it's definitely been chewed up and worn, right? So what we're gonna do is, again, the no letters go towards the engine. We're just gonna take this and make sure that it falls. There's only one way to put it in, right? Yes, there is only one way to put it in. So just like that. Oops. Be careful. There we go. Let it all go in evenly. Just like that. Then again, the hump goes down. The flat side faces out. Take our bolts. Put them back in. That's 1. That is 2. What do I do with my 10mm? Grab my 10mm again. Now we're going to screw them down. I don't know torque specs, but we're going to do it relatively tight. Put a good amount of force in it, all right? So my guess is probably the better part of 10 Newton meters. But there we go. Again, it's a pain in the butt because these fins to hold on to are sharp. There we go. All right. We put in a brand new clutch. Next, let's work on the clutch housing. As for the clutch housing, definitely not going to be as easy as changing the clutch, but still doable. But you do not have to do this really, right? Unless it's in really bad condition. So this one, the bearing, from what I could tell, it moves perfectly. There's no wobble. There's nothing out of the ordinary. The spin is good, right? Everything seems to be working fine, but there is definitely a lot of grooves on the inside, right? So I'm going to be changing it. But what I did also is I went out and I bought a new one, right? And if we compare it, it basically works and feels the exact same as this one over here. So I'm going to put this one on, but I'm going to go through this to full service of this so I could have a backup just in case something happens to this one in the future, all right? So let's put this on the side. So for starters, what we need to do is remove this retaining clip over here. To do that, you're going to need a screwdriver. It's going to be a little bit tricky now. Be careful over here. Try not to break your housing, right? So just push it out like that and put this on the side. Now comes the challenging part. We need to take out, actually, I put this in here so I wouldn't lose it. This was the one bolt I took out, which I really didn't need to, but I am going to put this on the side. All right, now we have to take out this inside because to remove this housing, we have to take out a C-clip on the inside that, well, we can't access from here, right? And hopefully, I don't know if I have it here. Hopefully I have that retaining clip tool that's deep enough to go in there. So to remove the inside, we have to start off by slowly but surely removing. Use again your screwdriver. This is going to be pretty tricky over here, folks, right? Just make sure you don't damage anything while you're trying to pick this up. Inch it out, inch it. Millimeters at a time, to be honest. In fact, this screwdriver might be too big. I'm going to have to find something smaller to see if this will work. Again, this is not going to be easy. This is in there. We have no other way of accessing it. We have to just pop this straight up, and it's going to be in there real good, right? The only thing is, might have to get a different screwdriver to do this. There we go. All right. That worked out pretty good. Done. We are going to take this cap, or this is your vibration damper, put it on the side, right? Now, if we look inside, there is a C-clip right there at the bottom, and we need to spread it apart and remove it in order for this thing to fall out. Hopefully, my retaining tool will go that deep. You're going to deform this thing. You have two options. You can spend $2 and get a new one, which I would. Just go to your local dealer or find it online. I'll give you the part number. There we go. Okay. I'll be honest, man. I think this thing is way. There we go. Okay, stay up. Done. Ta-da! Right, now we gotta tap this out. To tap it out, grab a socket extension, grab the bottom part, the wider part, and just tap it out. It's gonna take some force, but it will come out. There we go, nearly there. Done. Ta-da! And this is our housing. Right, so now we can feel our bearing. This bearing feels great. There's like literally zero grinding on it at all. Reality is I didn't need a whole new housing, but I figured why not. Yep, this thing feels super great. And again, this thing definitely has, I can feel ridges, a whole bunch of ridges, right? So this thing's definitely been worn down, But the most important part is the inside. Well, unimportant part is the inside, and it's not stripped at all. It is perfectly square. And we will take a look later when we replace our shaft to see if that's perfectly square. But there's no wear after all these years of beating this thing up like you would not believe. This is a super solid part over here. No questions asked. For the clutch housing, we have part number 4149-160-2902. All right, let's take the housing out. All right, now, when it comes to putting in the housing, this is somewhat delicate, right? We want to make sure that we are as even as possible when we put this thing in. We do not want it warped. So, in any single which way or form. Okay, and then when you're sure you got it in there, what we can use again is this side just as good. Till it reaches the base. And that looks good. And it spins. So now we want to finish it up. We want to put the C-clip in. Now, I'm going to try and save this C-clip. This is a replacement C-clip. You could go buy one for a couple of bucks. 9455-621-1130, okay? To save this, all we need to do is basically squish it back together. So grab a plier and try and evenly push it back together. All right? So we want to make sure it's rounded, right? So just be careful over here. Take your time. And apply pressure in different ways. Am I on camera? Wow. I knew that was going to happen, but at least we got it. We just want to open it just a little bit, just to put it on top. Don't try and put it all the way in right now because this is a weakened circlip, right? Just a little bit. Just like that, okay, from the top. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a socket and pop it down. Take our 12 millimeter, pop them all the way to the base. And it is in. That's not going anywhere. Now, we need to put in our absorber. This guy will put him all the way down. Enough where these slots are exposed so we can put in our little clip on one side. If it doesn't go in easy, or if it doesn't fit in, then we got her a little bit. Oh, it's got more than enough room. There we go. And then boom, done. So now we're going to put the clutch housing back in. As far as the clutch housing, part number 4180-080-1819 if you need a new clutch housing, right? It comes with everything that's needed. So one thing we need to know, this bolt goes on the bottom like this, right? So it's going to be on the bottom side with the trigger basically. So we're going to start off. We're going to put the shaft. Now we need to make sure that the housing is sitting fully in the shaft, and right now it's not because the shaft on the inside, I know you can't see the other side, isn't. There we go. So basically spin your clutch housing and it'll snap in. In other words, the shaft is sitting inside it, okay? So now again, we want these two screws over here, or bolt holes pointing upwards, right? So now what we're going to do is grab it, spin it around, make sure the cable's sitting on top. Make sure this plastic thing's sitting on top, and we fit it in just like that. I got one side in, I don't have the other side in. There we go. Okay, so what we can do for starters is grab one of our screws, put on the bottom bolt here, or one of our bolts I should say. Screw this in, hopefully you can see that good. Screw it all the way down. Don't over tighten it yet. We will tighten everything later. Okay. Now what we can do is, oops, just knocked everything over. Make sure that the head is sitting flat. Push the shaft all the way in, right? Make sure it's sort of all aligned, right? That everything is sitting flat and everything is even. And then we go to this bottom bolt that holds the shaft. Screw that one in. Come on. Tighten that one real good. There we go. Awesome. That one is now in. Next we grab our top cap or top cover. We're going to slide it in. Make sure it fits. Nope. There you go. That should do it right there. Make sure the bolt holes go in between this housing and the engine. Same on the other side, just like that. It should go flat just like that. Never force the screws in. You should always be able to start them by hand. Okay. Just like that. Put that one here. Put that one there. Screw this one down. Screw this one down. Now let's tighten all three of them. Nice hand tight. Tighten this one. Hand tight. Tighten the bottom one. And tight. This one's already tightened. Let's try it one more time. Make sure we're good. Oh yeah, that's already tightened. Now let's tighten the back. And tight. Let's put in our top cover. Yeah. Finger tight. Then before I put in the side cover, I have a new air filter. Like I said, maintenance wise, I really take care of this thing. Job wise, I beat the hell out of it. So then grab our cover over here. Let me know if you guys want to see a video how to adjust the valves in this thing and tune the carburetor. Let me know, I'll make that a separate video. Finger tight. And that is it for our clutch and our clutch housing. Now, as a separate job, we're going to do the inner shaft of the main body and the shaft on one of the trim heads. So first, let's change the shaft inside the main body, right? So to get to the shaft, first thing we need to do is loosen this screw in order to remove this collar. Okay, remove this collar. Oop, there's a piece of plastic. That means this thing's falling apart. That's a one flaw that these combis have, is they use these plastic covers basically, and well, those things do wear and break, and they actually wear and break pretty quick. Question is that piece of plastic from this side or the other side, right? So now this is the shaft, but we can't, let me get some paper towel over here because this can be an oily mess. Already it's starting, or greasy mess. So we can't pull the shaft out like that because technically that plastic cap or cover holds it in place, right? So this is a button or a knob or a button that we need to press down. So grab your tool, press down on it and push out just like that, okay? And now the whole shaft will come out. So this is our old shaft. Technically, you can change the plastic alone without buying a new shaft, but the shaft's not all that expensive, to be honest, like 20 bucks. So basically the way that works is that you would put the shaft on a vise and then find something to smash this thing out, to hammer it out basically until it comes out. Then the collar will come out. Then you put the new collar back in, and then you would put the sleeve back in. It's only this basically centimeter and a half that's holding it. Once you get past this point, it'll freely come out, right? So it's not all that difficult, but I have a whole new shaft. So here we have a new shaft, part number 4140-710-3220. Okay, and this is for the head unit. There's a separate shaft for the trim pieces, basically, right? So let's take this guy out of here. What the? Come on. Oh, don't make me get a scissor. Boy, man, why does this sound good? Hold on. Okay, managed to get that out. So now we don't just put the shaft straight in, okay? First, let's clean any old grease out of here. Also clean, grease from this side to make sure we have a good friction fit. On this side, we need a good friction fit. We don't want grease in between. Wow, that's more plastic, so that's not good. Okay. All right, so, and let's do the inside here. Not that it matters as much, but since we're here, make sure we got no plastic in there. Before we put this in, we need to grease the whole thing, and we need to apply a lot of grease in here, basically, right? Because this is where all that friction happens in there. And, well, that doesn't help the plastic, put it that way. So I'm going to use Stihl's grease over here. So it's a very, very, very thick grease. First, what we're going to do is put a whole bunch on my finger here, and let's load up this area here. Just load it up. The more the merrier. The whole thing up. We want to cover everything with grease. Cover everything. Okay. Now we covered a whole shaft. Or all right. And just for, put a little bit more again in this area in here. Again, this is the most important area. Cool. Now we're going to take our shaft, slide it in. There's a hole in the middle. Make sure you're in the middle hole and not on the outside holes, right? And then what we're going to do, make sure you align this cap, plastic cap, sink in the knob. You won't be able to put it in all the way, right? So what we want to do is sink in this knob so it snaps underneath, just like that. It should snap into place right there. And that's it. And I can feel that I'm moving the back end. So we are good over here. So now we clean the inside of this thing. Put this back in here. Make sure it's in all the way. All right. And then, oops. we screw this back down. Nice and tight. Remember, you want it tight, because if it's not tight, your whole head will spin. And we have a new shaft in our trim head. That was simple. You could do this anytime, all right? To change the shaft on the trim head, very similar process. This one has a broken plastic piece, right? It comes out, and the inside is pretty worn out, actually. This one, we could easily take out the shaft. Let's inspect it. You know, it's not in bad shape. There's still 90-degree angles. They're not really worn down. What about the bottom? What we're looking for, if you see like, it's still in pretty good shape. It's in good shape, actually. It's not that bad, the actual shaft, but I want to change it anyway. Why not? I'll have these as spares just in case something snaps in the future. Because like I said, I beat this thing up. So part number for the trim shafts, 4140-710-3225. All right, so we take this thing out, and just like before, first thing we do is we grease it. Particular again over here. Now, these shafts, the plastic knob isn't locked into the shaft. You could change these at any time, because these knobs, well, they wear out. They absolutely wear out. These are original still, but I'll be honest, guys, you could buy them on Amazon or eBay in bulk. And personally, I don't think the original Stihls are any better than a lot of the other plastic ones out there. The trick with these things to make them last long is to keep it heavily greased and regularly grease it. All right, so let's grease this shaft over here. All right. Put a good amount of grease over here again. All right. Okay. I'm going to put a good amount of grease on the inside in here, just like that. Again, grease in this area is super important. Put the shaft through. There we go. All right, so now we're going to take the axle again. There's a hole in the middle. Make sure you're in the hole in the middle. See, right now I'm not in the hole in the middle. There we go. Slide this guy in just like the other one. And grab our plastic tab. Spin the axle to make sure it's sitting into the gearbox. And then that should just pop in right there. And we are done. And there you have it, folks. We just finished replacing the clutch-to-clutch housing and both inner shafts on a Stihl Kombi system. Super easy job, and now this thing's ready to go back out there and keep those trails clear. Again, when it comes to trail maintenance, I guarantee you, no matter the trail, there's people out there that need help keeping it clear. At a minimum, if you're riding your bike and you happen to see an obstacle that's manageable by hand, stop the bike, pick it up, throw it out of the way, and done. It just helps the whole community. Now, I always have a backpack on me, and I carry one of these hand saws. These things are more capable than you could imagine. Not only do I use it to cut, trees that have fallen down on the trail, and these things, this one in particular, could cut up to a 10-inch hardwood easier than you think it could. But I also use it as a scythe. We have a lot of vines around here, so ultimately I could go around just chopping those vines that are sticking into the trail, because man, those things could tear up your skin like you would not believe. Or if you happen to have a string trimmer or any kind of trimmer, take a half a day, go out there and tackle a section of trail. Again, every little bit we all put in will help the entire community. So folks, with that being said, if you like this video, click that like button, click that subscribe button to see more videos, click that bell button, ding, 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 in order to get notified when new videos get released, and more videos like this are coming. If you want to see a couple of videos right now, these two over here might be of interest. And until the next time, I hope all's well with all of you, and we will be talking to you soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.